Hello and welcome to another episode of Top Deck, the series where we take a look at some of the leading TCG deck lists. And on today we have Owen Wilson, who made it to an H3 record at YCS Milan, just missing out on that X2 bracket for Top Cut. So let's quickly run through his list and then we'll go through the usual information. So a fairly strong-looking Lunalight Orcust build. It has the sort of typical lineup of the Lunalight cards, the one-offs for all of the Orcust relevant cards, and then a danger lineup to sort of fill up those gaps and allow you to get more access to your rank 4s and to extenders as well. Interestingly, he's including some of the power cards in here, so we've got Card Destruction, which, as you know, just if you resolve this with your dangers or your Orcust cards, is going to give you masses of pluses. He's playing the Double or Nothing for the OTK engine with the rank 4s. Triple Foolish Burial Goods to make it slightly more consistent, and triple Into the Void, again a consistency check which allows this deck to improve vastly. It is the kind of deck where you tend to have quite a lot of hand advantage, because so many of the Lunalight cards put extra cards in your hand, and the dangers allow you to keep adding cards anyway, so Into the Void should pretty much always be live in this kind of deck. As for the extra deck, for rank 4s, there's Dweller, the Utopia package, the Azathoth package, 4 Strix to get your Zephyros, and Tornado Dragon. He's opted not to play the, Tiger King. For the Orcust cards, we have the Dengirsu, 1 Galataire and 1 Longirsu. This is pretty typical as well. You don't tend to see a very large Orcust package in the extra deck for the Lunalight variant. And then for the rest, we've got the Appaloosa, of course, Barricade Borg, Borosword Curious, and 1 Phoenix for spot removal. For the side deck, triple Lancia for the mirror match, or for some random matches. Double DD Crow, this card has become increasingly popular over the last couple of weeks. It's just so strong in a variety of important meta matches, including the Orcust matchup. Double Twisters, double Evenly, triple Imperm, and triple Reboot. So plenty of back row removal here, and also some interesting hand traps. Just in case you're going second and you need some ways of dealing with that. That's pretty much the entire side deck there, I think, as a summary. For the rounds that he played, so it was 11 rounds, of course, playing a variety of pretty much just meta matches. So round 1 was an Orcust, 2-0. The opponent, let's just summarize this. So game 1, the opponent ended on Longirsu, Crescendo, and Ding, and then he just broke the board and Borosworded the Ding for game. And then in game 2, Owen had the Lancia, so the opponent just passed on Mathematician, and Utopia double took the game there. Against Sky Striker in round 2, there was an 0-2 here. Doing the full combo in game 1, the opponent activated the Mystic Mine, and there were no main deck outs for this, apart from the Crescendo, which obviously wasn't on the field at the time. So he makes the opponent go first. They end on Shizuka with 5 back row, and he used Demise of the Land when he's trying to make the board, so obviously that takes things away from him there. Round 3 against Sky Striker, this is a 2-1. So the opponent won the game 1 with multiple Shark Cannons. Game 2, there was a full board from Owen, which the opponent could not get past. And then in game 3, the opponent went first, but Owen opened evenly and got rid of all of the back row, and the opponent obviously was playing the card Demise build here, so we got a bit wrecked by that. Round 4 against Pendulum, a 2-1. Game 1 ending on the full board, which the opponent can't out. Game 2, the opponent does the same, and then game 3 just switches back and forth, so Owen won that with the full board there. Round 5 against Extra Deck Draco. So this is another 2-1. Making the full board in game 1 with Dweller stalls Owen, so he can't. Stalls the opponent so that Owen can get damage on board. Game 2, the opponent used a Scapegoat in the end phase to make a Borosword and steal the Ding to kill him for game. And then in game 3, Owen opened evenly and not long on time, so he made the board with Tornado to pop the Dynamite. The opponent left on board, they went to activate the Diagram, got popped with the Tornado, and then the opponent passed with leaving Owen with enough damage to take the game in time. Round 6 against Sky Striker, another 0-2 here, so it looks like Striker Orcust is one of the harder matchups for this Lunalight variant. Bricking in game 1, and then in game 2 not being able to break the opponent's board because the Top Logic had 4 triggers, that's kind of nutty there. Round 7 against Striker Orcust, So this one's a 2-0 actually. The opponent brick summons Gizmek and then normaled the symbol, ending on Dingirsu. So Owen just made Utopia double and a monster on board for game. And then in game 2, the opponent made him go first, so he ended on the full board and the opponent couldn't break it. So maybe some poor judgment there from the opponent. Round 8, blind second Sky Striker here, and a 2-0, so game 1, obviously, Owen's going first, and there was an Ash Veiler and Impermanence, so he ends on Curious, and then in the next turn makes Utopia double, obviously, as you do with so many extenders in the stack. And then in game 2, the opponent went first, and there was a Utopia double for game, so pretty simple there. Round 9 against Striker Orcust, another loss here to it. Game 1 couldn't break the board, and then in game 2, double hand trap stopped the combo. Round 10, a no-show here, so obviously a free win. And then in round 11, going against blind second Orcust, a 2-0, so game 1, going first, he gets Impermed and DD Crowed, so Owen ended on just Barricade Blocker and Dweller. The opponent can't play through the Dweller anyway, so you just win with the Utopia double after that. And then in game 2, the opponent went first, there's a Lancer and a DD Crow to stop the opponent's plays. And of course, star of the deck, Utopia double, comes out and takes the victory there. So onto the siding strategy then. We have 4 decks for siding against Sky Striker. In come the DD Crows and the Twisters. You can take out some of the additional just random pieces, so a Tenki here, since you only need to see it in singles, and you don't actually need to see it. 1 Foolish Burial of Goods, often we see people just playing 2 anyway. The Tsuchinoko is taken out and the Card Destruction is taken out. Going second, Twisters and Evenly Matched come in. You have to break the board, so just take off the stuff that's going to get in the way of that. It's very similar to before, except we see a Crescendo come out instead of a Card Destruction. Since you want to resolve your danger effects and get more advantage through that instead. Then against Orcust, for the Striker or the Pure variants, you put in the Lanciers going first. Just take out the same kind of stuff from the main deck. And then for going second, Lanciers and DD Crows come in. And that means you have to take out a little bit more, so some of the power cards, the Card Destruction and Mothman, come out there. For Salamangrate, 3 Imperms going in when you're going first. If you can stop their Stalio from resolving, you're in a pretty good position. And then for going second, the 2 DD Crows come in as well, very similar siding out to the previous side outs. For the mirror match, this is our last siding strategy, so triple Impermanence coming in. You need to be able to stop things like the Curious or some of the other power plays, and taking out the same stuff. And it's exactly the same for going second. Just putting in the Lancer isn't going to guarantee your ability to actually push forward, and the DD Crow isn't super important in this matchup, because banishing any one card does not allow you to win the game, compared to the Christia Turbo version of the deck. So for additional questions, in terms of how the event went, he said it was really good. His day 1 went very well and the deck performed exceptionally. Even after, especially after a lot of testing and deciding on how to play the deck on the Thursday, and after testing in the 3v3 tournament, unfortunately, dropping his first game, day 2, knocked him out from the X-2 bracket. So a bit unfortunate there, but a great record anyway. Why did he decide to play this deck? He said he had Altergeist on him, but it just isn't as amazing. If he doesn't win the dice rolls going against the Orcust decks, then IP makes a lot of decks just go straight into the Trisbana, and it totally blows you out there. So he decided to play this deck for Ghent as well, but that time he went 7-4. The combat hasn't really changed too much since then anyway, so he thought he'd take it again. As for hardest and easiest matchups, the easiest is anyone who doesn't play around Utopia Double. The card won him so many games that he just shouldn't have won, but people weren't prepared for it. And the hardest is probably the Orcust ending on IP into Topologic Bomber with 4 pops. You just can't deal with that kind of thing. Compared to other versions of the deck, he says it's pretty standard with playing a 36 card version of the deck. Being really good, allowing him to draw into the combo pieces or the side deck cards is just always really nice. As for changes, he thinks that the deck performed really well, so there's nothing he'd want to change in the deck at the moment, except maybe trying to fit a Daruma doll into the extra deck. Because in order to win with the Utopia Double, you have to clear all of the back row anyway, so having the Daruma Doll really allows you to do that much better. And also you can pop the Tiger to get some additional advantage there. Sets being the most influential, that'll be LED4 with the release of Yellow Martin and Collider Chick, just giving you so much rank 4 and full combo access. And as for upcoming sets, there's nothing really that's going to be impacting this deck, you think, so nothing super important at the moment that's been announced. As for shoutouts, shoutouts go to Team the Imperial Order and all the lads on the team for the support throughout the day and for allowing him to play this after everyone telling him to play Geist. Shoutouts to Luke and Stephen who worked on the list and for the lack of sleep that Luke gave him with his snoring. So thanks very much, Owen, for coming on and sharing your list and insights with this deck. What do you guys think of Lunalight Orcust? Is it as powerful as it used to be? Do you think this is the kind of deck that we'll be seeing pushing through in the future? What will the ban list that comes up do to the state of Orcust? Will we be reverting back to a Lunalight variant instead of the Striker variant? Or do you think there'll be some new version of the deck that comes out in the future? Let me know in the comments section, and I'll see you guys in the next video.